There it is. There's
There it is.
Judith. Hi. All right. So thank you, Miranda, for setting that up.
Yes,
And
on wire.
who is in the room? I see Susan and Billy
Yeah,
and
Alexandra and David and
Andrew
myself.
and David. Awesome. Good.
I
Okay.
think we have a quorum.
We definitely have a quorum. Yeah, we have a quorum.
Before you start, I couldn't find an agenda. Did I miss?
Oh, it was, yeah, it was embedded in the calendar invitation.
Oh, okay.
And so were the minutes from last month's meeting, and those are also on the shared drive. So,
Okay.
All right, well, let's start. This is the Committee for the Arts, March 25th. And let's see. Can I have, for those of you who have had a chance to review the minutes from February 25th, can I have a motion to approve them?
Move to approve them.
All right, and is there a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Good. So there's that. Kate's not in yet, right? Kate Rushford?
No.
No, okay. So we'll skip over her piece of the agenda. First thing on the agenda this morning, the mayor reached out to me to ask whether we would be open to having a student member on the Committee for the Arts as in a non-voting capacity. Apparently that exists on a couple of other city committees. And I told him I would bring it up at this meeting. So what do you all think? And how would we go about vetting such a person? And I mean, it seems like a good idea, but what do we all think?
That's fine with
I
me.
think it's a good idea.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I know a lot of the art students just because of my job, and I know already like a few that would potentially like want to get involved.
That's great. Awesome. So I guess with everything else, we can note this in the minutes that we um, approve of the idea of having a student member on the Committee for the Arts as a non-voting member. And whatever would be needed to formalize that would be up to the mayor's office. So I can send a memo to the mayor saying that we've approved the concept and leave it to them to let us know how to formalize that position. And then we can also suggest that we can make some recommendations to the mayor's office. Thanks for that, Alexandra. Okay.
Before, when you do that, that will not be, that position will not be part of our limit of members, the 7 members. That will be an.
Right. Correct. Yes, yeah, correct. Yeah. And I'm just making some notes here for myself, offer to.
And Kate just got your turn.
Oh, great. Perfect timing. Hi, Kate.
Hello.
Great. Let's see. So Kate, we're actually on your part of the agenda. Are you ready to share with us?
Sure.
Yeah, the only thing we just did was to approve the concept of having a student member on the committee, and I'm going to pass,
Yeah,
yeah,
I was
pass that along to the mayor.
that the mayor suggested that because, yeah, I think that's a nice input to have.
Yeah.
Let's see, so I know we'll discuss more about Poet Laureate, but we sort of had narrowed down, we had the city council appoint a representative, so you'll talk a little bit more about our Poet Laureate details. Over the past couple of weeks, we ran into, I think, really some, for the Making It Public grant through NEFA and MAPC, it just didn't feasibly work out to align with the commuter rail. We just ran into issues where what is state owned, what is privately owned, and it would just be overly complicated to put a piece of temporary art in that location, unfortunately. So, but it is now on my radar, both of the locations, that they need beautification and certainly, you know, maybe there's some things that we could do just as a city. So that is, you know, I went and I took some images, I shared it with Alex, and I just even have some ideas that where we can maybe put some additional signage, clean it up a little bit, you know, just had some ideas as that. I
What's
think
what's the site that you're talking about, Kate?
that would be, that's at the commuter rail, by the Shaw's. That was the location.
Ex-Shaws.
I know, I know, which is, I don't, yeah, that's gonna be a very interesting,
Yeah.
yeah, next step. But anyway, so, so we did talk to, let's see, let me pull up we did talk to the harbor master, interestingly, and had, some thoughts, and we really liked the idea of the flood wall. So that's near Gloucester High School, along the Annisquam River. It's visible from the Cut Bridge and then as well, from the high school. So this idea, it's still sort of, we're just narrowing down the location, and the city owns it. The harbor master liked it. And so sort of I had wrote down, you know, put a little draft together where I said, the site selection for the temporary public art is the flood wall near the high school. The location's a significant focal point for the community, serving both the practical purpose in flood mitigation and a symbolic one in resilience and adaptation to environmental changes. The Annisquam River, a vital waterway in Gloucester, reflects the city's deep maritime heritage and connection to the sea. The high school, the central hub for youth and families, adds another layer of community engagement to the site, making it an ideal setting for public art that fosters dialogue, creativity, and sense of place. And we wanted to, you know, so the idea would be, I mean, we're still today, we're still going through our continuous training, but, you know, to, with the call for art, not even just limited to a mural, but what kind of art would that be? So, so that will be the next step. We're just, we did, Alex liked the idea, the mayor liked the idea, and it first came about in our meeting with our harbor master as well. So that was, you know, a little bit of a shift, which is good. And then Bailey, who is our sustainability coordinator, and I have been partnering with Thomas Starr, the artist, for his the plaques. And now we had, let's see, we have several locations that that were approved by the mayor. And right now it's still, we're still going back and forth with some of the wording on the plaques, but we had one idea is by the visitor center, another is by the harbor walk, and messaging all related to sustainability, heat bumps, and you know, just we're still going back and forth, actually. Say, you know, the wind, like say cost savings, etc. So our goal was to have this for Earth Day, but now we're kind of extending it to Earth Month, which is April, so maybe towards the end of April. And if that doesn't work, we could still make the announcement during Earth Month, because I think that ties in nicely. So yeah, I know we do have an Earth Day deadline that we're still working on the approval for the wording. That we might not work, but that's that's our other goal, public art goal. And then let's see, the last is I don't know, Miranda, if you wanted to talk about the meeting that we had really. Yeah, that will be later. And then in April 16th, we're gonna start our Culture Splash planning meeting with with Rocky Neck and Harbor Town. So it's hard to believe we're already looking at summer, but we've been simultaneously preparing for Rev 250. So it really is just around the corner. And I think that's all.
Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Any comments, feedback?
Oh, yeah, Rev 250 date is, it's June, off the top of my head, like around 20, is that weekend 25? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's the week before. or
Oh, the
after,
week before,
yes.
let me-
It's right before, or after, I can't.
Oh, yeah,
remember.
21.
Yeah, right, but yeah.
Yeah,
That's the reenactment.
yes, yeah. Of the Battle of Bunker Hill in Washington. It's gonna be fun though, a lot of different people coming to the city, so, yeah.
Good. And I'm sure there'll be a consciousness raising piece of that as well. So good. All right. Anything else, Kate, or any comments or questions?
No.
What are the next steps for the Making It Public grant? I think it sounds like a great location. I
Oh,
think there'll be
good.
some interesting constrictions around it, you know, making art by the waterfront, but I've seen really cool stuff doing that.
Yeah, that's where, exactly, like, depending on what side, and again, I don't like to put restrictions on the artists, but there seems to be with this training, they want the city to narrow down all of these specifics, but we have not yet created the call to art, but we're still doing our, it's technically, equitable training. So, today we have a meeting discussing the legality and phrasing for the call for arts, also the rubric, which I thought was interesting. And the legality is, not restricting location. So it would be a call for art, say, within the United States, preference given to artists, say, in Cape Ann, but but again, but not less restrictions. So we're going to talk more legally about that. And the call for art will go out probably, I think the schedule is later this year, and the piece will be created early 2026. So it's $15,000 total. That's our budget. Technically, it's like 12,000 and then 3 additional thousand for supplies and et cetera, if we need it, or, just 15,000 straight to the artist. And the interesting part of this cohort is connecting with the other municipalities and listening to sort of their interests, pain points, what's been successful. So I really enjoy that aspect. So we have the city of Beverly, Pittsfield. I'm trying to think of, I don't have the whole list in my head of the other, it's a total of 12. But that part has been wonderful because we break off into small groups. So we've been partnering closely with NEFA and a gentleman from Lowell who did a public art piece for the city through the same grant had said after developing this relationship, the city has received multiple additional grants, which I think that comes into play too. Which
For public art.
for art. Yeah, it's opened up new doors, and they're doing something called, I think it's Dance for Lowell, with a focus on their Cambodian community, which I really loved. So they're getting, so that's just another door that could open.
I'm so glad that that you got that grant for the city. That this kind of work, through you, Kate, is just awesome and way many years overdue, in my humble opinion. So I think it's great, and the catalytic effect that it could have to, knowing and partnering with other communities and opening up other grant possibilities is just awesome. Great.
Yeah, and that's, and I think too, I had a conversation with our Department of Health. It all began about our art collection. But there could be some synergy with some money that our public health department has in partnering with the arts and some awareness. So that was great to have that internal conversation.
This is because of the links between mental health and art.
Correct.
Oh,
That's
good.
awesome. I
Yeah.
love that. Great work, Kate. Yay. Let us know, as you do, as you always do, how we can help. And you've been really good too, liaisoning, between the mayor and me, and just the communication flow has been really good. So awesome job. Good stuff. All right. So the next thing on the agenda is the comprehensive plan. I don't think there's anything new on the comp plan, but you let me know, Kate. Is there anything new?
I haven't heard anything
Yeah.
other than the last time of, the surveys were collected, so I haven't had any updates. No.
Okay. Good. Well, they're probably just all compiling all that survey data.
I wonder if there's any follow up with the mental health and art, because that really rings a bell.
Hmm.
You'd be surprised, with all the students that come through my school, I have people, I just got divorced, it's always something happened, this has happened. I don't have a lot, one woman, she had cancer, she's always wanted to take. So I have this running, it's like a part wood carving class, part therapy class.
Yeah.
And it's always fun, every single time. You never know who in the group is gonna come up, say something that's going on in their life, stuff like that. So that rings a bell to me. I don't know if there's anything we can follow through more on with the mental health and art. But
Yeah.
There's a really big statewide initiative called Culture RX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just learning more
Culture RX.
about Culture RX.
It's the
Okay.
Mass Cultural Council.
okay,
It's something that they talked about and they're really starting to push, but I haven't seen too much about it, but I think I'll even bring this up. It came up in the conversation with our health department, the
Mhm.
veterans in the city, for
Yeah.
example, where that was an issue that was raised in addition to substance abuse, so.
right,
Yeah, and there are funds, there are federal funds
Mhm.
that,
If they
Are
still
available.
exist.
Yeah, I know,
If
I
they
know.
still exist.
you know, but yeah, that,
Yeah.
I do believe they are, like, which is the good thing,
Mhm.
like that, the money, we have money in place that I think. With our current president, things in the future may be affected, but we're still in a good place,
Right,
but yeah.
I did a program with the Cape Ann Museum at one point
Yeah.
where we worked with people who had memory loss.
Oh,
And I would take them around the museum, and the paintings that we chose really brought back memories. It was really moving, actually, and I think music has been used
Yeah.
a lot with people
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
with
working with a
memory
lot of
issues.
new moms right
Uh-huh.
now and doing songwriting projects with them and
Mhm.
recording like EPs of songs that they wrote. I have several like adult students that I'm working on that.
Oh.
And it's been like really an amazing process, so.
Yeah,
when does some,
Songwriting, yeah.
music with people who have Alzheimer's, so I had heard, like, if you sing,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
resonates more than speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll keep this door open and maybe set up a meeting. Maybe we could even, again, I'll talk to Alex to see what his thoughts are of how we could integrate with our Board of Health.
Yeah.
There, is what we're gonna need to do it in the annex, and so, the office where we're all located, we're painting it and taking down bulletin boards, putting up artwork. And the mayor has been generous with providing a couple of pieces, so that have been stored. So, and one was, and then there is a connection with Essex Tech and the health department, and they're gonna get some students involved as well to take photos and hang things in the annex, which is fun. So, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I've done in Gloucester, was worked with students, young kids who, it wasn't a juvenile diversion program, it was at Addison Gilbert.
Uh-huh.
But it was kids who were acting out and, could get arrested, and I ran this art class for them. So it was under, it was under a program in Addison Gilbert that was used a lot in that way during that era also.
I think that's an important, I think that's evergreen.
Yeah, that statewide cultural RX, I don't know if it's still active. I think it is, but it's to provide prescriptions. It's to encourage providers to provide prescriptions for art experiences. So you can get a prescription to take one of David's wood carving classes or take one of Alexandra's music classes. It's just it's a really super
And
cool
if,
thing.
so if you get the prescription, then do they pay for it?
Yeah, I do. I think I'm not positive. I don't know the ins and outs of the program, but worth looking up on the Mass Cultural website. Yeah,
I think that, I'm sure we'll hear more from them as well.
yeah.
But that would be really great to be plugged into that, or like locally, statewide, or federally. Yeah.
Yep, all we can do to keep this work going. Awesome, good.
Can I jump in?
Of course, Judith. Yep.
Yes, I was mentioned that art was being put in the annex, and which is great, but we should have this recorded wherever
Yeah.
art is moved, because at some point we're going to have to go through the inventory and make sure that everything is located where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, currently it's just, it's a recent gift that the mayor received, a photograph that did not have a house, so now that has a house, and then that will be recorded, and nothing else has been hung, because the next step is painting, which again, who knows how long.
Yeah, and we did a deed of gift for that photo too. So
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no.
this
noted.
process. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to CPA funded projects. Judith, do you want to just give us a recap of what's happening with murals?
Well, we're still on target for the late June date for the mural to be delivered, and nothing will happen. A lot then will happen soon after that, but
Yeah.
we're
Awesome.
waiting for late June.
Okay. All right.
All
Good.
right.
Good. And Billy and I have successfully worked with the city to get the RFP out there and responded to, and the proposals were opened up last week or so. And we made recommendations that there were 3 proposals for the statues and sculptures and bronzes, and there was Daedalus, Skylight, and one other firm that I had not heard of before. But Billy ran them all by Rebecca Reynolds as a advisor, consultant, and she made her recommendation, and we passed along that recommendation to the city to hire Skylight, to award the contract to Skylight, and that is being done.
Yeah.
Anything else on that, Billy?
Oh, just yay.
Yay.
We're in good hands.
And thank you to Karen and Judith and Rebecca Reynolds for helping.
Yes.
Yeah.
It feels good.
Takes a village, Yeah. So hopefully they'll come in, and they seem like they're so good to work with. They've got a really clear understanding of what they're doing under this contract, which is assessing everything first for whatever $24,000 worth of the amount that they have, and then prioritizing work that will be budgeted with the rest of whatever we have at the end, for CPA funds. It's not going to cover all of the restoration work that's needed for the sculptures and bronzes. So that means that this group will probably have to apply again, next year or whenever, for CPA funds to secure some more. So anything else on that?
Karen, just for the notes, is Skylight Studios, have they been officially awarded, offered, or is that still in process?
We recommended that Skylight be awarded the contract and the city's now taking it from there.
Okay, so we being this subcommittee with Rebecca
Yeah.
Reynolds.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Well, Rebecca Reynolds isn't on a subcommittee, but
Yeah, with
Is an
Yeah.
advisor.
yeah, yeah. So, okay.
great.
Yep. Good. And then, we'll need, as Judith is doing with Williamstown and the murals, we'll need someone from this committee to sort of follow along with Skylight and be the liaison to those projects that they're undertaking. So, Billy, are you interested in following that through once they're awarded the
I've been
contract?
chatting with him for half a year now, so I'll
I
continue.
know. You're the obvious.
I haven't met him in person yet. It's all been via online, so yes, I'll definitely continue that.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to meet them at Cape Ann Museum because he and his daughter were there doing work during that exhibit. So they were really super nice people. Good. All right. Anything else on that? All right. Poet laureate?
Yeah, so we have, I think, everyone for the selection committee. The issue I'm trying to work out now is when to have a meeting to interview candidates. So far, I think if we had like a late afternoon meeting, if we could manage it on a Tuesday,
Mhm.
could you do like 4 to 6?
Yeah, I'll make myself available.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, not a problem. Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
so, and I have to email your mom.
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
Which I will
That
do
was
I
today.
can't do 4 to 6 on Tuesday.
I know you can't. I know I can't
It's
find,
such a bummer.
I can't fit you with
I know,
anyone
my
else's
schedule is
schedule.
opposite to the rest of the world.
What about,
It is.
what
Pretty
about
much.
a weekend? Did we look at a Saturday?
Yeah, didn't someone say?
I can't remember now. I know. it's-
Oh, Josh said he might be able to do some Saturday with notice. Problem is he has 3 kids.
Or, if like say, for example, if somebody is not able to attend the meeting, we're going to have the sort of the digital packet of resume and information.
Right,
So,
Yeah.
maybe it's even, say you can't attend, you could submit a few questions that you might have.
Great.
That might work best.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you mean rather than
If she,
Alexandra having to interview everyone virtually?
yeah. That's what just because you can, I think
that's
that
all right.
might work. Yeah, you can you get a real sense through the applications.
Yeah, it is true that I, in past processes, because of this issue, have had a single person do all of the interviews and write notes. And then add notes from the interviews to the resumes that the selection committee can look at together.
Hmm.
It's just another option.
Time saver.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Well, I think if we can get everyone but Alexandra at a meeting, which I think we could do, late afternoon, on 1 or 2 days of the week.
Sure.
This-
It- it's hard. It is hard to schedule people.
Yeah, it's very hard. So, and then if you submit your questions as well, because I think if we can, I know like one person really wants to do the interviews in person, feels that would make a big difference. So, if we can do that, that would be, I think, my preference to have one meeting with Alexandra's questions. And then maybe the rest we could do over email,
Mhm.
the final choices and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I think, I think actually we'll see how it goes because is there a clear candidate or, so that
Right,
would be interesting.
exactly. If
Yeah.
there's a clear candidate, it'll be a lot easier,
Mhm.
won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
so, but will you have a discussion after the interviews? Cause I think that tends to be
Yes.
the most important.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we have a meeting where the interviews can be done
Oh, all at the same time?
all at
in
the
meeting?
same time.
Oh.
So that the candidates only have to come to one
Yeah.
event and whoever can attend the meeting can you know, be at that one event and then do the rest over email. Like discuss people's decisions and stuff, not have to have another meeting unless people want to. Okay.
Yeah, we have 5 candidates.
Yeah,
Yeah. It seems surprising to me to do the actual discussion of the selection via email rather than an in-person.
Yeah,
I'm used to
likewise.
kind of a 2-stage process where you interview the candidates and
Right.
then once you review it, you have a meeting to discuss the interviews, because I don't think everyone's voice might necessarily be heard at the same level via.
via
Email.
Or
email.
maybe
Yeah.
after
Or-
the interviews, have a few moments for everyone to sort of convene.
At that same meeting. Or see, I mean, if people are willing to have another meeting, that would be great. Except you'll have to come in.
I know.
via email.
If it's like just the one, if it's not like 5 different ones, I can see about moving like 1 or 2 students around. I just can't move like,
Oh,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? Like.
No,
5
this,
Don't
they
usually
would
do-
each
yeah.
be, even if they're, I mean, the most it would be is 2 meetings.
different- Okay,
So the,
Maybe for the, one idea for, how about for the second meeting? What if we did that via,
Zoom,
allow, yeah. I don't know, that could be an option.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a
After
Zoom
meeting-
second meeting
yeah,
would be.
Just
okay.
after meeting out everybody in person, then having a, hey,
Right.
let's just do a quick chat.
Or if you do a marathon meeting and it's one day and it's here's our, 3 hours or 2 hours or whatever, where all of the people come in and then all the committee members stay for a final 45 minutes or hour to discuss. I just think that in-person discussion about
About
who you've
the-
talked about
yeah.
is, and in-person to me also means online, a live discussion in person or on
Yeah.
Zoom.
Live, that's a good.
Yeah, a
word.
live discussion is an important part
Probably
of a
better. Yeah,
selection
I
process.
agree.
Yeah. But I know scheduling is hard.
It is hard, but yeah, I think either in person or Zoom is
Yeah.
preference.
Yeah.
Rather than email, you're right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, because then it's just not a discussion. It's just
It's
word,
that-
you
yeah,
know, like
it's not-
it's a static, yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, maybe, I mean, and maybe you could, I think it would be really great to see if we could get Alexander there. I mean, I know it's really difficult to figure it out. But I think it's definitely important to have a committee for the arts member and somebody who has experience
too.
in poetry. I mean, she's kind of our
Oh, I know.
exemplar of those
One
things.
of our experts, but it's just scheduling. I mean, because
Yeah.
Alexander has morning times and
Yeah,
almost no one else does.
yeah,
So that's the
Yeah.
issue.
yeah.
So,
and I have like no Saturdays right now either.
No
I'm so sorry.
Saturday. Right,
I'm also
Saturday,
getting
I'm
married
sure.
soon, so all my
Oh.
Saturday, yeah, so all my Saturdays are like
Congratulations.
really full right now,
That's
so I'm
okay.
sorry for that.
no,
I know
no,
it's
and
really
I think,
tricky.
I don't think the person from the library wants to do Saturdays either.
Okay, great.
So, and if we can do it on a day you're in
Yeah,
Gloucester,
Tuesdays
that
and
would be
Thursdays
great.
work, yes.
You know, so, all right, I'll go back over the schedules and send out my 800th email.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, it sounds like
Thanks, Matt.
maybe, I mean, I know it sucks to move folks around, but if there's one long one on a Tuesday afternoon.
If there's one, yeah, if there's like one
One
chunk
day.
that I can like
Yeah.
reschedule rather than like,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you really.
I
could
might
do
be,
that.
it
Yeah,
depends on the
maybe.
day, because we have concerts and stuff that I can't miss a lesson read before a concert, but if you plan it for a certain day, I could have some flexibility depending on which day it is.
Right,
Well, maybe in
So-
order to incorporate Alexandra's expertise, the two of you could talk and find a Tuesday afternoon that might work for you.
Or
or
Thursday.
Or
Thursday.
Thursday
Thursday
afternoon.
might even be better.
Yeah.
As I'm looking at Josh's last email. Do you think Thursday? afternoon-
Thursdays are easier, because Tuesdays I teach
Oh.
big group classes of young children, so they're harder to reschedule. Thursdays are like
Sure.
private lessons, so
Oh,
it'd be a little
good.
bit easier.
So
to
let me
reschedule.
see if I can arrange for a Thursday later afternoon,
Okay.
a
How
marathon.
many applicants do we have?
5.
Good. Oh,
Great.
That's good.
And they were all like complete, strong applications.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they're of different qual, but I
wanna
just,
say- I see there are a couple that are very strong, so.
yeah.
Yeah.
But just in terms of sometimes you get 5 applicants and there's like half done, it doesn't even
No,
count.
it's really great.
that's great.
And we had people send in recommendations.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And it was interesting, there was some buzz going on in City Hall. They knew of one of or two of the applicants, which I
Really?
thought I was
Wow,
pleasantly surprised.
so that means those applicants must be
Yes.
involved with the city.
Had some, I don't, yeah, I didn't ask how they
Yeah,
heard.
yeah.
I actually should have, but
That's great. Good stuff. Good.
So, and I think, we'll be done by the end of April.
Mm.
I mean, we kind of have to be because the library is being in May.
Yeah.
And the person from the library is just gonna be flat out.
Thanks for organizing all of that, Susan. Yeah,
Mhm.
great work. Yeah.
See.
Um,
I gotta say, the people on the committee that I've been in touch with, Alexandra and two others, are so nice. It's made this more of a pleasure than I expected. You've all been great.
Me
That's
too,
great.
thanks.
should be. That's how committees should be, right? No
Should.
dysfunction.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Can't wait to see who the person is, and it's very exciting. So next on the agenda, just as policies and practices, I reached out again to Suzanne Egan to see what was going on, if she had any ideas about, how to formalize our ability to enact public policies and practices to do our work and to have it, validated by ordinance. And it's crickets. I haven't heard anything back from her. So I don't know if there's anything you can do to tweak that, Kate, but
I'll have, maybe we can loop Alex in because he might have some
yeah.
FaceTime with him.
Okay,
Yeah.
I copied you. I think I copied you on a recent email.
Yeah,
to
I think so.
Susan.
Yes, I think that will be the next step.
Okay, great. Good. And the only other thing is there are standing agenda item on cultural space opportunities. Is there anything that anyone is aware of in this realm? And I'm wondering if sometime we can see the inventory that exists in the public archive of city-owned spaces or underutilized spaces.
Yeah, is that being put together, Kate? Do you know?
I think it is. I don't know. I mean, it's an inventory that our city planning has, so I just haven't seen it. So I think maybe nudge Greg for that, because and again, I think they partner with our building department. So yeah, I think that should be something that people have eyes on.
Yeah, if you could follow up and maybe ask, maybe to give him a thing to say, we would love to put it on our April agenda for the Committee for the Arts
Yeah.
to review the inventory list.
Mhm, mhm.
Cause I know, it's all about just prioritizing. So if there's an actual deadline, maybe we'll get it.
Mhm, mhm.
The update that I have, which is kind of wearing multiple hats, but I met with the city planner, Greg, Alex from Community Development, and Kate to discuss the One Stop grant, and they submitted a 500-word abstract letter of intent for the underutilized properties program to see anything comes of that. So it was thankfully a very short abstract, and then if we're screened through, there'll be a full application in May, right, end of May.
No, I'm
Love
sorry.
that.
What's the one-stop grant? I'm like,
The One Stop program is a much larger program that has multiple programs underneath it. One of the programs underneath it is called the Underutilized Properties Program. And the Underutilized Properties Program can be used to renovate a property, an empty kind of blighted property, so that it can be used essentially. And so they reached out to me, knowing some of my past experience and current efforts, to see if there was a building we could talk about, to see if we could get funds to make it less underutilized.
And these would be city-owned or could be?
No, they actually
Private.
have to be privately
They can't
owned.
be
Private owned.
Yeah, it's for privately owned buildings.
What about shops?
I know, I said that. I guess from my understanding, because I think that's a really devastating loss for the elderly who are right
Yes,
near
food
there.
desert, creates a food
Yeah.
desert.
It really is bad, but they, I did hear that, it's on the developer's like real estate list or something. It's already out there.
Oh, wow.
It is a very prime location.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for Trader Joe's.
You can
Trader Joe's
actually,
said the same, or
Yeah.
Aldi.
you can
Yes.
actually go on their website and request a store location, so I like shared it on my pages, so I was like, the more people that request. a
Trader
version-
Joe's?
I did Trader Joe's,
Yeah.
cause that's what I
Yeah.
prefer, but
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
so you can actually like go and request.
Oh.
Let's all do that.
That'd be
Yeah.
great.
Cause the food desert is.
I
you know,
did hear
it's good for
Aldi
no
is
one.
expanding greatly too. I mean, which
There's
is,
not enough 3G community.
yeah, we don't need two
There's not,
shows.
no, there's not enough community to support Trader Joe's up here. You don't have enough surrounding communities. Every time they're located, they have a lot of surrounding. communities.
I'm sure that's why we don't have a lot of other.
That's right, yeah, we're very limited.
Or in Salem, they have a market that's sort of helps food insecure people.
Oh.
It was somebody brought that up as well. Anyway, I hope that would be wonderful if a market
Yeah.
does take over.
The other thing, Karen, is, when Alex is here, I talked about trying to get some people that have some money in case buildings go up for sale. That we can be there instead of this final hustle that doesn't end up anywhere, you know what I'm saying? But just
Yeah.
have a number of people that are possible, that this is the idea, we're trying to preserve the arts, we're trying to preserve art studio space. We will ingratiate you with your name on whatever it is, et cetera, so you'll be honored for doing that, but it gets money into the equation up front a little bit, at least the resources for it. If something were to pop onto the market, because that's what happens, it pops up and then it disappears.
You're talking about getting capital in order to procure
Yeah.
spots and nobody's not.
Yeah,
oh,
that's a
okay.
lot
Oh,
of
that's
money in
good.
Gloucester.
Yeah,
Yep, I hear you on that. And just keep an eye out for what we're doing at ECCF. And its Essex County Community Foundation is actively building its capacity to raise an impact fund. And as far as arts and culture is concerned, that impact fund would help to secure buildings. It would provide some initial capital to get them off the market or low interest loans to, capitalize in, a more affordable way. So ECCF's really diving very deeply into its ability to provide impact investing services and to raise an impact fund over the next few years. And it would go across all nonprofits, but they definitely have their eyes on arts and culture for the idea of buildings, underutilized buildings that come up. We are, continuing negotiations on the Lydia Pinkham building in Salem, which has been an artist studio space. Building it houses about 85 artists. We've been negotiating with the owner of that for a while now, and it's complicated, and we don't have cash. ECCF doesn't just have a fund right now to be able to, buy the building. So it's pulling together though all of the stakeholders that and an alliance of stakeholders that can make things like that happen. We're working closely with the Arts and Business Council of Greater Boston, which owns the building in Lowell, the Western Avenue Studios building. It purchased that some years ago with impact funds and having this kind of alliance of funders at the table. That's the only way it could do it. And now Arts and Business Council owns that building, manages the building, and that houses 500 artists or something. So it's there's definitely a model for it, and we're working with them closely and working with the owner of Lydia Pinkham closely too, to try to make that happen. So, you know, there's hope out there, and it's definitely in the consciousness of people with money, and like the ECCF, which is connected with, you know, tens of millions of dollars of donor advised funds, and trying to you know, encourage use of some of those donor advised funds for the impact pool. So, you know, that's where we're at with that. So, you know, there's definitely hope on the way, but any ideas that you have, any people that you know who should be part of our ECCF's, you know, family as we're doing this, please send them my way so that I can, you know, bring them into the conversation that we're having at ECCF. There's no better place to do it, in my opinion, because, you know, what we do is encourage philanthropic giving and then match that to nonprofit needs. So anyway, that's just a little update on that. Anything else on our agenda?
I just looked up and we have like over 1,000 posts on the Cape Ann Creates
Oh.
hashtag on Instagram. So
That's
people
great.
are using it.
Oh.
Hopefully as we get, it'll be nice to remind people to
Yeah.
use that and
Yeah.
get it in, but it is spreading a little bit,
Have you
so.
talked to, does Discover Gloucester know about it? Our new Discover, I'll send her. a note.
Yeah, maybe send a reminder. They
yeah.
knew a while ago.
I know,
Yeah.
now this changes.
Yeah, but yeah, just a reminder for folks in this room who are using social media to use hashtag Cape Ann Creates, because I think
Isn't it
It's-
directly for them?
that like over time
There's going to be.
usage of it.
It's going to.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, I haven't heard the update. I heard that there was a candidate for the new director. I don't know where that stands, but
I have not heard any.
yeah, there hasn't been an announcement.
Well, okay.
That's-
New director of.
Discover Gloucester.
Have you heard
Okay,
of?
yeah. I've not. No. Okay. Anything
Great.
else? Anything else that anyone needs to?
Just a question very quickly. Have any of you heard of any of the ramifications from the funding coming out of Washington? I mean,
Yes, I personally applied for a grant with Essex Heritage
Oh,
and received, the grants are no longer going forward because of everything.
Oh, really? Is that Essex? Oh, wow. Okay. What I've heard from Mass Humanities is that their grant programs, the Storyteller grant program and such, are not affected because they're funded differently, not from federal funds. However, their operational expenses, by and
Oh.
large, come from federal dollars, so that's at risk for Mass Humanities. Mass Cultural, I do not think is at risk from federal funding.
Yeah. no, that's thankfully state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I have
that's
my,
awesome.
I had, my son applied to a position at Harvard where he was a candidate and, not, for a job, and then there's a hiring freeze, so he got a
Yeah.
note
Wow.
saying, sorry, we wasted your time.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
MIT too.
Yeah.
well,
I'm administering a National Endowment for the Arts grant up in the Merrimack Valley for my job with ECCF, and it was $125,000 our town grant. And as soon as the federal government announced the freeze that they then reversed, I applied for as much of that fund as I could, and it's come in. So it's 2/3 of it is in our bank. So
Wow.
yeah.
well,
which is-
usually EA is the number one target when
I
they
know.
want, and maybe they're so busy with other things that
Yeah.
Well, I think the administrators of NEA just really wanted to get the money out as
Yeah.
quickly as they could. So, they're making these distributions, as they come in. So, yeah, but otherwise,
holding our breath.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually go in the opposite direction. I just want to see.
All right. Anything else on our agenda or anything else business-wise to
Oh,
discuss?
quick. Oh, it's sort of personal.
Oh, you had asked about
The image rights.
I don't know where we stand with that.
With what?
Also contact Susan.
Image rights.
Suzanne Egan. Yeah, for city-owned art, if.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was another question I asked of Suzanne Egan to get her
Yeah.
time and expertise on that. And again, I have not heard back. It's crickets, but That's the other, it was a two-part ask for her when I emailed her recently.
I see Alex is gonna be taking a few days off, so I wonder, anyway, I'm just gonna see if he can bump that up, so.
Okay, great,
Yeah.
great, thanks.
I'm-
Okay,
I also still, I hear what you're saying about running any possible people with finances to run through your organization in terms of funding for building. I still think that we should have something that's a little bit more local with powers that be, so that they feel like it's a community type effort. I only say that because it's so tight up here that people will know that they're putting their money into this area. And I think there might be a little bit more encouragement with that as opposed to going like maybe through your foundation, you know?
I think it's important to continue to think about what role each group plays, though. I mean, a committee for the arts, which is a volunteer organization of citizens for the city of Gloucester, is not necessarily a funding
Mhm.
organization.
No,
Like, I
I'm
don't
not
see how
saying
that
I'm
falls.
not saying we're the funding organization. I said we still should put,
My notes.
getting a nucleus of people, bring the idea up to the city or whatever. We need some sort of funding in place in case the building goes up for sale or something like that.
So that's still the
Local
work
towards
of a
local.
funding organization, not necessarily a oversight and advocacy organization. You know, I think it's important to make sure that the right people are doing the right work, which is why to me it does make sense that ECCF,
Mhm.
whose role is funding, you know, is doing that work. And if we tap in with them, then it's getting people who actually have the expertise in that area to be doing that effort.
okay. Good.
Do we have a next meeting date?
Yeah, next meeting date is,
April,
April 29th is the last Tuesday.
wow.
Almost May.
So we might have a poet laureate and plaques.
We will.
Who knows?
I'm saying yes.
Yes, we will have a poet laureate and birthday
Saying We
plaques.
might. We will, we'll
Yep.
have to.
Great, I have that in notes.
motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right,
I'll
and a
second.
second. And all in favor. Yep.
Uh,
All right, thanks, everyone. You can
Yeah.
end the formal meeting, Miranda, by pushing the button, and I'll see you all soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.